nice was this stage, Jason?
Oh, it's awesome. I think events like this remind you like the power of football, and especially in this town, the power of this team to unite people and to do real good. Like these kids, they felt so much esteem for themselves because these guys are coming down here that they've seen on TV and that they see in uniform or like paying attention to them. You just see like their self-confidence raise. You know, that's not even talking about the stuff that we did in the garden and like beautifying the facilities here. It's just what the kids get out of these guys paying that time and attention to them is amazing. And that's actually how lifelong fans are created too. You know, there's really beautiful moments.
I was just going to say, it's part of the process of, hey, yeah, you want to help the community, you want to help this school, but also, hey, maybe they can become Commanders fans down the line.
Of course. I mean, that's hopefully the outcome of us doing genuine good in the community. I mean, that's what it was before. This team was winning championships, certainly, but they were also so present in the community while those championships were being won. And if we can get back to that, where we're showing up every day in people's spaces where they live, work, and breathe, and make them proud on the field, like, we're going to be good for another few decades.
You said something in your remarks there about how this is a city that's divided a lot of different ways, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's based on politics among many.
Yeah.
But when Terry McLaurin catches a touchdown, people can high-five from across different lines. How much momentum do you feel for this team, and how different does it feel for you, considering everything you've gone through?
Yeah, I mean, it's markedly different than it was. And certainly there's a degree of unity that hasn't been there. I think people see what Adam and DQ are building. And it's because they do it without pomp and fanfare. They're just in the grind, building culture, making smart, sound decisions, being disciplined in how they build the team. And I think people are starting to build trust there. And then they're seeing what Josh and Marjorie are doing through their community efforts, the way that they're representing the franchise on the big stage, and it's consistent. And so when you're consistent, trust can build over time. We have a long time to really build that trust the way it once was, but we're well on our way, and I feel it. I absolutely feel it.
What's some of the work? I mean, Josh was clear that he's going to invest the money, the time.
Yeah.
What's some of the work going on now? I mean, I see the construction at the facility and at FedEx, right?
Yes, that's the biggest thing. I mean, there's a ton of breakdown and build up right now, both in the physical facilities and you'd argue just across the team. The same thing they're doing with the roster, reshaping the roster. The way they're constructing and building that is exactly what we're doing with the physical facilities. And so, yeah, for me, a lot of my time is spent on managing the projects across Commanders Field, and it's complex. There's a ton going on that we got to get in around concerts and before the season starts. But I think the fans will notice a measurable difference. Again, just like here, there are things about the stadium that you just fix because it's about basic dignity and telling your fans that you care about them in the small ways. And so I'm excited for even the small things when people come in this year and see seats fixed and leaks fixed and toilets fixed and all the basic stuff that actually says something about your dignity and your value and your worth, not to mention some of the cool clubs and all that. But I'm just excited about being behind something we can be really proud of.
With the stadium stuff, there's been so much legislative momentum towards RFK, and now there's somebody from Montana potentially throwing a hurdle in there. Where does that stand with you guys and with the Wetzel family?
Well, I think, so first on just the momentum behind an opportunity in D.C., for us it's always been about what's right for the city. So irrespective of whether the Commanders are there or anyone is there on that site, D.C. should have its own autonomy and its ability to decide its own economic destiny on that site, right? And I think that's something that everybody across all parties can get behind, and I think that's why it has been so well supported, and there's been a lot of momentum for it. And everybody believes in the power of business to transform neighborhoods, right? So I think everybody can get on that, either side of the aisle, whatever it is. And I think the Wetzel family have been great partners to us. We've been talking to them for a while, and we're excited for what we can do.
Ideally, there's a resolution coming there.
There definitely is.
Yeah.
There certainly is. There certainly is. The Wetzel family has been so collaborative, and they've helped to educate us. And we feel like there's several different great ways to honor the family. And I think that's what Senator Daines was saying even today in his letter to the editor in the Washington Post, that he feels really confident that we're on the right path, and I think we are. Good.
I've been on the stadium talk more than anybody at this point.
Yeah.
Because it's been so up and down, what yard line are we on? Like,
What yard one are we on? Ooh.
Yeah, how far along in the process to making a decision?
And what down?
Right. Down, distance. Like, which way are you leaning? Which way
Where's
are you
the
facing?
wind?
Is it north or south?
Yeah.
Like, all that. I will decline to comment on any of that. I'll just say, like, there's a lot of momentum behind that as well. And we are deep in the trenches, so to speak, with Josh, the broader Harris Blitzers resources that they bring to bear, and certainly my team that's on this every single day, really focused on, no matter where we land, that we're going to have massive economic impact there. And also that we're going to be present across all 3 jurisdictions irrespective. Like, we're going to be physically present and driving economic impact across D.C., Maryland, and Virginia because we belong to the whole area and we represent the whole area. And so, like, we're really focused on plans across various different places that are going to drive meaningful economic impact, transform communities, build jobs for folks, and do the good that a big project like this can do, and even the projects that surround it can do.
Jason, as you know, you can't please everybody, but the team name continues to be in the news.
Yeah, I saw the article
good,
today. Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
How do you gauge all that?
It's not something we're looking at right now, right? So we're focused on 3 things: building a championship roster, having the guest experience be right, both now and in the future, and being in the community. And so as we make progress on those, and as we get to ground on those, other priorities can emerge. But for now, it's just not something that's gotten to that level. But it's something you pay attention to, certainly.
How does DC government giving Monumental the financial money to build, to do some things there? How does that affect whatever you guys are?
I mean, we're excited for anything that's good for the city, right? And that area, certainly, like, if Monumental had left, there would have been challenges to continue to have the economic activity, growth, the real multi-use community that had been built there around Chinatown, right? And so it's great. It's great for Monumental, and like, I'm not one of those people, and I don't think we're one of those organizations that looks at other people's gain as our loss. We expect that if there's a good decision that makes sense for everybody in a smart way, there's always a way to make it work.
Flip side of that, is it a little more reluctant to maybe really feel like you can get a stadium built in Virginia?
No, I don't think so either. I think at the same time, it's sort of in the same breath. Every situation is unique, and if there is a good plan that is beneficial for citizens of the Commonwealth or the district or the state of Maryland, and it makes economic sense, it's going to do some social good. Like, we have really pragmatic leaders in this area. We have really smart business people in this area. And everybody, the thing that kind of unites this area, one of the things, is this sense of, like, greater good. No matter what it is you do. Like, so many people came here because they were on some sort of mission. And that pervades the leaders of this area, too. So I have no doubt that if we have something that works for everybody's good, everybody will find a way to make it happen.
You obviously have good perspective on this because you were, the Snyder family and now the Harris family.
Yeah.
Going on almost a year now with the Harris family. What do you think of just the overall direction of this franchise and where it's at right now?
I'm really happy about it. I think the optimism that the public feels is not misplaced. It's really not misplaced. Josh and these guys make great decisions. There's a high bar for the quality of information you bring. There's a high bar for the pace of work. We're trying to get stuff done in a rapid manner. It's not a tomorrow thing. It's a today thing. But in that process, when you feed Josh and this broader ownership group good information, they make fantastic decisions. And they follow through to execution. And so I think everybody's confidence that they have right now, the optimism they feel, the momentum that things have shifted is not misplaced. It's for real.
It's about, as a former player and someone who's been around players, Jaden, what have been your thoughts so far, seeing him adjust to the spotlight?
I always want to call them kids. They're not. These are grown men, right? But I'm just old now. So it's like my way of trying to stay young, I suppose. But these guys are really impressive. I think college now, and the spotlight in college is helping them come here with a level of maturity that certainly guys in my day did not have. They're able to balance all the pressures that come from you guys, the immense psychological pressures that come from being on social media all the time, right? I don't even know how I would have dealt with that as a player. But they are also so focused on the task. Like, these guys are diligent. They're getting in early. They're working the long hours already, and it's not even close to the season. And I think that is a really good indicator. Just the foot traffic in the building, the hours getting put in when they don't have to be put in, are an indicator of what you're going to get from Jaden and the rest of these guys. It's a completely different set of things, and I think the vets are setting the tone for that. And so I feel really great about what's happening, even though I'm way across the other part of the DMV in College Park. Every time I'm over there, it's pretty remarkable what's happening.
In the DMV, it's about 5 o'clock and it's raining. How excited are you for this ride home?
I'm fired up, man. I'm fired up. I'm going to get some email done. I'm not driving. I'm going to be in an Uber.